What's our protocol here?
Good morning, good afternoon. Thanks for all of you for being here today. We're celebrating some of the retrofits that we're doing on Davies Symphony Hall as part of our energy efficiency work that we're doing throughout the city and county of San Francisco in all the buildings of the city over time. You'll notice as you walked up the stairs, you saw some things in transition because we're still working on those. We wanted to start this discussion today with the mayor, and his leadership on the energy efficiency has been what brought us all together. Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Ed, and thank you all for taking the time to be here. You know, it's become such a cliche, but it's absolutely true that the most effective thing we can do in terms of our global footprint is to address the issue of the environment by changing light bulbs, by making more efficient the use of our air conditioning units, making more efficient the use of our boilers at home, to look at retrofitting through energy efficiency our existing building stock. That is the most significant thing we can do that pays the biggest dividends in the shortest period of time. We have had so many announcements, and I appreciate many of you have followed them, on new solar initiatives, on new strategies for ocean power. We've talked about our green building standards and what we've done on biodiesel and our recycling efforts and the like, and we're really proud of that, and we lead in almost every category, and I don't exaggerate, in almost every category this nation in terms of these effective policies and approaches. But an area that we have not necessarily done as much as we should, though I would argue the bar is higher here than almost any place else, is energy efficiency, and we want to get it to the next level. One of the things that we have done in the last number of years that has paid great dividends is organized a program called Energy Watch. That program has gone out to businesses large and small, and we've done energy audits. In those audits, which are free, you can learn how you can save money, not just save the environment. Once you determine that you can save money and save the environment, you then have to figure out a way to pay for it. And we will identify grants, we'll identify new loan strategies. We'll be talking next Monday about the most exciting loan strategy of any city in the United States, but that's on Monday. And we'll direct you appropriately to finding creative ways of doing those retrofits for you. We just recently, however, were the beneficiary of the outstanding work of Speaker Pelosi, who really initiated this in the support of President Barack Obama, of getting stimulus dollars, some $7.7 million that came to San Francisco, to get our Energy Watch program to the next level. We are very proud of that effort and the work that has been done on those, or the work that's been done to utilize those dollars. But today we're announcing an additional $11.5 million that will further complement those stimulus monies and the monies that we've been using in the past through our original Energy Watch and Power Savers programs. The whole point is to say this, that people need to contact us. Call 311. Ask about how you can get a free energy audit. Ask about how you can invite some of the folks you see here behind me to your place of business, or now to your home with this $11.5 million additional resource. And they will do an audit, and they will then identify the funding sources so that we can make this inexpensive for you, and you can step up and provide the kind of efficiency that ultimately will reduce the cost of your utilities. The reason we brought so many folks here today is we also have taken advantage of another federal program called the Jobs Now program. Well, at least in the manifestation at home, we call it Jobs Now. The folks you see behind me have all been hired through the Department of Environment to do these energy audits, and the taxpayers of San Francisco are not paying the costs of their employment. That's all being borne by this federal stimulus, this $5 billion grant that has gone through at least now 19 states through this TANF program. We have over 70 people now through the Department of Environment that have been hired under the Jobs Now program to do these energy efficiency audits. I think the goal is to have 100. You guys have already gone, I'm told, to over 1,000 businesses, which is extraordinary already, and done these free audits. And we primarily focused on the Southeast sector in Bayview Hunters Point. This is a big idea, taking one form of the stimulus, connecting it with another, and doing it in a way where we reduce the cost not just of employment today, but the long-term cost of operation tomorrow, not just for private sector, but also municipal buildings. And that's why we chose Symphony Hall. That this building is now operating more efficiently. A consequence, tens of thousands of dollars a year are saved. Tens of thousands of dollars a year John Goldman and others don't have to raise to offset the costs associated with the building operation and its electrical capacity because of the light bulbs that they've switched out. It's that easy, and it's that effective. And 99.9% of people that walk in here will never know what they did. But the folks that are doing the fundraising know very well what they've done. And the folks that are operating this building know what's been done. And all of us, again, are the benefit of that. We're going to be doing the same, and I think, what, half dozen or a dozen other city buildings from Ella Hill Hutch and some others also be upgrading and swapping out through the energy efficiency program, the old light bulbs. So we're going to reduce the cost of government at the same time, as well as, again, reaching out throughout the diverse communities of San Francisco into the private sector through this extended Power Savers program. 29 megawatts of energy savings we have generated because of these programs in the last number of years. That's a huge number. With this new announcement, the $11.5 million will allow us to save another 6 megawatts of energy, or energy savings would be generated, the equivalent of 6 megawatts. That's not bad. It's 35 megawatts of power because of these energy efficiency programs. Something I'm really, really proud of, and I think all San Franciscans should be proud of. And so that's what we wanted to highlight today. These are the green-collar jobs we all talk about. Everyone talks about the green-collar economy. This is it. This is the ultimate manifestation. These are all people hired in this new sustainable sector. These are the jobs of the future. This is not just some idea on paper, and this is not something that any of us should think should somehow expire in the near term, meaning this is the kind of thing we need to promote in the long term. And I think our president and our speaker get it. And I just want to, again, put my hat off to them for getting us this far, and hats off to all of you for, again, I think, a pretty good job. You like your job?
Yes.
And you make it folks happy when you come in and say, I can save you $400, $500, $1,000?
Yes.
I bet. Any of you have any stories about an experience in a business you reached out to that were just stunned they didn't believe you and are a beneficiary of some of the things you've done? Or what's it like? What do you come into a small business and you say, hi, Mr. Small Business Person or Mrs., and you then say, can I come on up here? Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot. And don't worry, because it's all live on TV. That shouldn't make
We just say hi. We're here today from the Department of Environment, and we're here to try to help you save some money on your energy bill. And they say, nah. And we say, yeah. And we tell them about the free audit that we have, so that someone could come and look at their building and see where they can save money, whether it be in refrigeration, in their lighting, or their computers, or whatever that they have that they could save money. And that's what we do. And we all go, and sometimes we get somebody who's not willing, but once they hear that they can save money, they're on board. And some people, you know, really take advantage of it. So
How long have you had this job?
I've had this job since November.
And were you unemployed before that?
Yes, I was.
For a long period, or short?
I was unemployed for a year.
For a year. And then you learned about the Jobs Now program? How'd you learn about it?
I learned about it. I went down to the unemployment office, and that's where I learned about it. And of course, I signed up on it. And here I am.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great. So I'll turn it over to Ed Harrington, and we'll speak more. Barbara Hale, the PUC, the ones that basically are really administering this program in partnership with the Department of Environment and have really been leaders in terms of these efforts.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm Ed Harrington, General Manager of the San Francisco Public Utilities Commission, and I'll talk a little bit about this facility and some of the city departments, then turn over to David Osman, who will be talking about all the things happening in the community also. As you walked into the building, you saw there was new marquee lights on the front of this building. Those new marquee lights use 67% less energy, and they last for 25,000 hours as opposed to the old lights lasting only 1,500 hours. Again, a simple thing, changing light bulbs, but you get that much difference in terms of the cost savings. You'll see new exit lights. You'll see new lights up here. On the backstage areas, lights used to burn 24 hours a day. They're now all on motion on sensors. The kind of simple things that you should do that you can even do in your homes, but we're doing them in city facilities also. That is saving this one facility $24,000 a year in electric bill savings. Our total that we've done through all the different city departments so far amounts to $2.8 million a year of savings. And so when you're talking about budget problems, just doing things right can also save money. At the PUC, we run a lot of utilities for the city, water, power, and wastewater. And what we have learned through all is that conservation is always the first and best thing, conservation and efficiency. So if it's water, it is always better to conserve water than build another dam. If it's wastewater, it's always better to make sure that you dilute the water, send it off into gardens and those things as opposed to putting it into a sewer system and building a bigger treatment plant. And the exact same thing relates to power. It is always better to conserve and be more efficient than even to do the really good renewable energy like Go Solar. It's always better first to make sure that you're using all of your power uses are efficient. And in fact, as part of the Go Solar program for the city, when we go out to give rebates and give incentives to people to put solar on their roofs, the first thing we ask them is, did you do an efficiency audit first to make sure that they're not overusing and we're not just creating new power for overusing, that we're really making the best use of all that power. So it's a great program that the mayor has spearheaded. Barbara Hale in our office is the one that's in charge of the power enterprise for the city of San Francisco. We'd be happy to talk about other city facilities, but for now, let me turn it over to David Osman, who is the acting director of the Department of Environment, to talk about all the things happening in the community.
Yes, thank you, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to acknowledge Melanie Nutter from Speaker Pelosi's office, who's here today as well. And what I'd like to do is just put what you've been told in perspective. The 31 megawatts means that that's the equivalent of 30,000 homes energy use, total energy use that have been preserved through these programs. And so far, we've helped through the Energy Watch program and its predecessors more than 8,000 businesses convert their lighting, their heating, their various energy-using devices into more efficient forms. And we've worked with over 3,000 residences, and we're now working on a number of areas, including working with multifamily facilities. And I'd like to introduce Tina De Lorenzo, who's with Gateway Apartments, who is a stellar example of a multifamily building that's been able to take advantage of these programs.
Thank you so much. The Gateway Apartments and Townhomes is 1,254 apartments. We are in an effort now for the past year and a half to reduce our carbon footprint and have introduced and executed many items to enhance our energy efficiency. It's not only creating a win-win for the environment and the ownership group, but for the residents as well, allowing them to be the recipient of lower utility pass-through bills. I brought along my chief engineer here, John Gomes, to introduce many of those items and detail those for you, but really the person that has spearheaded that in our company has been Glenn Archibald, who is not available to speak today, is out on surgery, but I'd like to introduce John Gomes, who can give you that list. Thank you.
How do you do? Well, we've done quite a bit of stuff these last couple of years. I hope I can remember all of it. We've replaced 2 very old, original 1960 boilers in one of the buildings with 4 state-of-the-art energy-efficient boilers that have burners that are capable of using close to 88 to 89% of the energy put into them. They're so efficient that the exhaust coming from them, you can stick your hand in front of it, won't burn you. It takes all the heat right out of the energy that's being put in. We've done retrofits in the apartments. As the apartments come available to us, we replace all the lighting with energy efficient fluorescent lighting. We have all the outside lighting. We actually wanted to keep the fixtures that we had because of the flavor, I guess, of the facility. So we designed and built our own retrofit fluorescent light fixtures to put inside of those, and did all of those. We have replaced 2 huge fans that supply air and heat to all of the main corridors, or what we would call common areas, in 2 of the larger buildings, with new energy efficient fan units that use what is called a variable speed drive to raise and lower the RPMs of the motors to get maximum efficiency. We are currently embarking on looking at doing the same boiler retrofitting to our other main building that supplies the hot water and heat for 3 of the buildings at the facility, as well as bringing those boilers into compliance with Bay Area Quality Control emissions, which we're going to be about a year ahead on that. What else? What am I missing here?
And we're going to be changing, we changed all the lights in the lobbies to energy
Yes,
efficient.
all the lights in the lobbies to energy efficient bulbs. Just quite a bit of stuff.
Keeps going. Keeps going. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think you missed the most important figure of all, that I understand your annual utility savings are $136,000 from these efforts?
Just the boilers alone, it's about 20% off the gas.
Yeah, so that's a major savings. And these programs are not only beneficial in terms of the energy effectiveness, but also in terms of employment. It's a source of employment. When you send people out to do retrofits, it helps the economy, it helps create jobs. So I'm next going to introduce Charlie Friel. He's the owner of Friel Lighting, who's been an active partner with Energy Watch, who does retrofits and also hires people locally to do these retrofits. Charlie?
Hi.
So tell us what's going on, Charlie.
What's going on?
Business? Business been good? Is this a good program, bad program? Are we wasting our time?
I'm a true believer in Energy Watch. We've been with Energy Watch for about 2.5 years now.
Yeah,
We're excited to hear about the new funding.
I bet.
That just means more work for my guys.
Yeah.
A couple are here today. But it's, after a lot of years, it's still a big pleasure to go to a small mom and pop grocery store, and you get in there and change out their lights, and the next month they report back that they saved, be it $80 or $110. That's a big deal to them, and that's what we're all about.
How's your business grown in the last couple of years? Do you have more employees?
We started with 3, now we have 8.
That's great.
And
It's almost tripled.
we, they like working here in San Francisco.
Good.
It's where they live, and so yeah, we're in for the long run.
Love it. Thank you. Well done.
And you've heard from one of the Jobs Now participants, but I'm going to introduce you to one other, Lee Williams. He's going to talk about the Jobs Now program, which we have actually branded Environment Now.
That's right. You got the different brand.
Yeah, we branded as Environment Now. So Lee.
Hello. In honor to the mayor and San Francisco residents, did you read my notes? You said exactly what I wanted to say. But anyway, yes, I'm here I got here through the Jobs Now program, and I'd like to say I think highly of that program. I was out of job for about 4 years, and on the verge of being homeless, and I needed work. And I needed a new start somewhere. And I didn't know where to get it. I was on the PAYS program. They the one sent me over there, and I met all of what they wanted, the qualifications, and here I am now. And I love being here. It's a good job. When we go out and do the Energy Watch, the people, most of the time, they welcome us. Because one thing, we're going in there and we have in our mind, we want to make a change in San Francisco. We want to see this city change. We've had some good leaders that's training us, and they're giving us all the information. We feel confident when we go in. A lot of times when you tell people, hey, we're here to save you some money, they listen, you know, and they want to hear what you have to say. You know, in these times, the economy's bad, and people, everybody's looking for a way to save a nickel. I'm looking for a way to save dollars, but but everybody's looking. That's basically what I needed to say. The mayor said most of it. You did a real good job. I appreciate it. Yeah. And so thank you, and I'm out of here. You'll see us out there paving them the sidewalks, rain, snow, if it snows, sleet or hail. We'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. A very important partner in the Energy Watch program has been PG&E, and Jan Berman, who's the Senior Director of Energy Efficiency Programs, is here with us today to talk about the partnership. So,
oh, thank you, and thank you, Mayor Newsom, for inviting us here today to be part of this great event, and for letting us help you celebrate this wonderful retrofit you've done at the Symphony Hall, which is just beautiful. I also wanted to thank you for the partnership we've had with San Francisco over the years to advance our common objectives of fighting global warming and also making San Francisco the leading green energy efficiency city in the United States. I'm especially proud of the partnership between San Francisco and PG&E on the Energy Watch program, which you've heard people talk about here. We've been partners for 5 years, and it's a very successful program to help our small businesses and medium businesses and our multifamily residential customers to save energy, become more efficient, and save money on their utility bills, as you heard people discussing. And now San Francisco's taken a step to make a great program and partnership even better by combining the program with the Jobs Now and providing the opportunity to hire local residents as auditors for the program. We look forward to continuing to work together in partnership, continuing to help people have jobs, save money on their utility bill, and fight global warming in San Francisco. Thank you.
that's the end of the list of speakers. So if there are
Here to answer any questions. All of us. Always on this time. Yeah. No questions? We were that effective, huh?
Yeah, I just want to know how long this money is going to last. Like, when is that going to be?
$11.5 million.
That's a 3-year program, and it's the second 3-year program, and we look forward to many more 3-year programs after. Yeah.
So the money will still be there. It's a good point. And the jobs now, and in terms of their employment, we have been fighting to keep these jobs beyond September 30th of this year. We know we have those dollars till the end of September. But the good news, and we marked this about a day ago, in the President's $3.8 trillion budget, there's about $2.5 billion to extend this program in the budget, which in and of itself is significant, but it still requires the Senate, the House and the Senate, to legislatively act and enact that extension. So we still are not out of the woods yet, but this was very, very good news. We have close to 1,700 people, 1,700 human beings that have been hired. I mean, I didn't know, 4 years you were out of work. This is something, you're President of the United States, this is something to be proud of. This is everything they're preaching back in Washington, D.C., and here it is taking shape in San Francisco. And the question is whether or not it will be extended. If it gets extended, you watch, those numbers will go through the roof. We'll have thousands, I'm convinced, thousands of more people employed. And to match one federal program with the other is perfect from my perspective. It does everything, again, that I think this country should be doing in terms of long-term fiscal stewardship and environmental stewardship.
Is that going to be 1-year extension or until the money is up?
We're hoping it's in this fiscal, for be the new fiscal year budget, so it'll be a 1-year extension. which, again, would be very significant. So we'll have more than a year and a half of funding. And the whole idea is they would get in a position where they could possibly get a permanent job in their current positions or find other opportunities to get jobs elsewhere, because now they have a great resume. This is not a job training program. And as an employer, I don't want to just necessarily know what job training they have. I want to know what on-the-job experience they have. So this is so much more valuable than a workforce training program. That's why you may recall I went up to Sacramento after the governor gave his State of the State speech about spending another $500 million on workforce training, and I was perplexed. A, we don't have $500 million to spend, and B, he has over $500 million of federal money that we haven't tapped for this program, and made no sense whatsoever. And that's not workforce training, that's real jobs. You can hire hundreds of thousands of Californians today through this program, but only a few counties know about this program. It's so extraordinary that, you know, I've been out in D.C. and Sacramento, and none of the legislatures believe me. They just say, oh, it's too good to be true. You don't do a 100% wage subsidy, private sector jobs. That's not real. Except it is. Speaker Pelosi now gets it and has been extraordinary, and both Boxer and Feinstein, Boxer in particular, has really stepped up on this, and now the president got word, and we hope this thing is permanent. We'll know in the next, when are we, the next couple months? Couple months.
Mr. Mayor, you also had a PUC announcement of the construction site that's going to be as eco-friendly, done this morning with the PUC Commission. It's all energy organized.
Which one is this, Mr. Director?
Yes, this morning we had a group of contractors come in, and people who might be contractors, on the new PUC headquarters, which is 525 Golden Gate.
525 Golden Gate.
It will be a platinum LEED building. It will be the headquarters of the PUC. It will have everything you'd ever want to have in a building in terms of the best of all the energy efficiency, water efficiency, all those kind of things will be in that building. And this morning was making sure we have the interest of the contracting community to make sure we get the best bids and have it done for the lowest price.
It also has a giant windmill on it. It does. It's an incredible wind generating component that's part of the architecture. It's really exciting. It'll be the most sustainable building ever designed and constructed of its type in the United States. And we're the beneficiary of stimulus dollars. Again, everyone, I love people saying, oh, stimulus doesn't make any difference, and wasting all this money, et cetera. Quite the contrary. This program is there because of the largesse of the PUC, but also because we can get over the finish line with some federal stimulus dollars that gave us the confidence to actually do the groundbreaking and create the hundreds and hundreds of jobs that you'll see on the site very shortly.
Do we know how many jobs now participants have full-time permanent jobs now?
Well, with the last number, it depends on analyze. We were at 1,644-ish. I just got word we may have gone another 100, but they haven't necessarily gotten their job yet. So we're just shy of 1,700 jobs.
For those of the jobs under the current program now, I mean, we were saying that some of these jobs may lead to permanent work that won't expire.
Well, this is all permanent work to the extent that the money continues through September 30th. After September, I mean, if you're an employer, why would you start writing your own check when the federal government's doing it? So they'll start doing that after September 30th, and we'll know how many stay on permanently after September 30th. Because everyone gets reimbursed until September 30th. Yeah.
And we should also introduce and bring up for a moment Elizabeth Murray, who is the managing director of this building and the War Memorial Complex, to talk about folks and what we've been doing here.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, and first of all, we would like to thank the PUC, and that is from the War Memorial Department of the city and the San Francisco Symphony, whose executive director is here today. The savings is more than you said. Oh, we will be saving upwards of $45,000 this year alone. And that is from the lighting.
So we don't have to make a $45,000 contribution to the budget? Because I'm looking for savings, and this is great news.
Well, we're going to spend a little bit of that on our mechanical upgrade, which will produce savings in next year's budget. So I'll make that promise for next year. This is a fabulous hall. It's a one-of-a-kind. Every effort was made by PUC and my staff to make sure that every lighting fixture here was equal to the building. And that's a little bit difficult with some of these fixtures, but as you can see, the job is perfect. And I'm just quickly going to say, without my staff and the PUC, this wouldn't happen, and we wouldn't have $45,000 of savings. Again, Ed and Barbara, Chris Vance, we light a candle to Chris Vance. Lynn Shimizu, our electrician, Kevin Kelly, John Rolandelli, and Jose Ponce and Mark Natty. These are the people that made this happen here. And let me tell you, when we get the energy bill every month, they're all at my office door wanting to see it because it makes a big difference. So thank you, and we look forward to our continuing partnership.
As Elizabeth said, later on this year, we'll be doing all new equipment for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And then later on this year, we'll be putting solar on the roof to generate more capacity for energy within this building. Any other questions? Thank you very much for being here today.